Hello everyone. Welcome to Lify Life, 10 strange medical conditions that almost no one has heard of. Over millions of years, people have learned to recognize and treat many diseases, even those that initially seemed fatal. Although a lot is known about the diseases, some symptoms still cause doubts among doctors. Today we're going to talk about 10 strange medical conditions you may never have heard of. Occam's razor is a concept that is used to find the best solution to a problem. The essence of the technique is to choose the simplest among many solutions, and therefore the correct one. In the field of medicine, the essence of the principle is that if you hear the clatter of hooves, then it is most likely horses, not zebras. This means that you need to choose the most basic from the list of symptoms. You should not immediately assume the rarest disease in the world. For example, the presence of complaints of headache and sensitivity to light and sound, most likely indicates a migraine. Although organisms can present surprises. 10. Perverse appetite. Perverted appetite is a condition when a person, instead of traditional foods containing vitamins, trace elements and minerals, eats earth, paint, money or paper. Eating such food, people run the risk of causing injuries to internal organs in the form of cuts and tears. In addition, they suffer from malnutrition. Perverse appetite syndrome is a disease that occurs in childhood and lasts no more than a year. If children have mental disorders, then the disease can take much longer. Psychiatrists treat such illnesses. 9. Alice in Wonderland syndrome. Alice in Wonderland syndrome is a disease in which the brain perceives surrounding objects perversely. A person suffering from this disease believes that objects and people shrink or grow to gigantic proportions right before their eyes. He may also suffer from tactile and auditory hallucinations. This syndrome can develop in people who have suffered from migraines and epilepsy for a long time. 8. Alien hand syndrome. Alien hand syndrome is a mental disorder. A person perceives one or both hands as body parts that live their own lives. The cause of such a disease may be the result of surgical intervention in the brain or epilepsy, when the connections between both hemispheres of the brain are disrupted and the person is unable to control hand movements. People who have experienced such a state claim that they felt how one or even both hands did not obey them. 7. Congenital insensitivity to pain. People who have congenital pain insensitivity syndrome did not feel pain at all. Many will think that this is a gift of fate, but you need to know that the body reacts with pain to the disease. The brain sends signals to certain places in the body so that a person shields himself from the cause of pain, for example, pulling his hand away so as not to get burned. If a person has pain insensitivity syndrome, the consequences can even be fatal. Such people should examine themselves several times a day to make sure that nothing threatens their health, fractures, bleeding, etc. 6. Allergy to water. With an allergy to water, a rash or blisters appear on the skin when in contact with water. If a person with such a disease washes himself, then the rash formed on his face will last up to 2 hours. Basically, this disease affects the female half of humanity in adolescence. There is no cure, but the use of antihistamines, steroid drugs alleviates the course of the disease. 5. Kota Ehlers syndrome. Kota Ehlers syndrome is a mental disorder during which a person believes that he is dead. This illusion is so strong that the skin and soft tissues may begin to die and bleed, and organs may fail. The disease occurs due to damage to certain areas of the brain. There is no treatment, although antidepressants and shock therapy are prescribed. 4. Progressive fibrodysplasia ossificans, FOP. Fibrodysplasia ossificans progressive transforms the soft tissues of the body, tendons, ligaments and cartilage, into bone tissue. Since the soft tissues harden, the person cannot move. This process begins mainly in childhood from the cervical region and slowly descends below. It becomes difficult for a person to breathe, he turns into a living statue. Such patients usually do not live up to 40 years. 3. Klein-Levin syndrome. Klein-Levin syndrome, or Sleeping Beauty syndrome, is one of the diseases associated with sleep disorders. People suffering from this disease can sleep 21 hours a day. The syndrome mostly manifests itself episodically. Despite the name, the disease mostly occurs in men. They make up 70% of all patients. The root of the problem lies in dysfunction of the hypothalamus. This is a fairly rare disease. There is one case of FOP per 1 million people. After the first attack, the symptom may reappear after 8-13 years. 2. Fatal familial insomnia. Fatal familial insomnia is another sleep disorder. It is caused by disorders of the brain and prion disease, which occurs as a result of a violation of protein formation, which leads to gene mutation. For the first time, this symptom appears in middle age as a simple insomnia, which worsens with time and even leads to external changes in the facial features of a person. There is no cure. The death of the patient can occur in 12-16 months. 1. Hyperexplexia. Hyperexplexia is a disease that no one has heard of. The syndrome is based on the Moro reflex. The cause of the disease is unknown, but it is generally believed that it occurs due to a mental disorder. A person repeatedly automatically repeats words or phrases, like a parrot, copies the behavior of a person who is nearby, and executes the commands run, jump and hit. The disease manifests itself in adolescence. With age, these symptoms fade. Thank you for watching. Make sure you like the video and subscribe for our new content. Click the bell sign to stay in contact with updates from us. Hope seeing you back on Lify Life.